Your ball club split last week, a win over Kent State on the road and a loss at home. My goodness, that was a thriller. The first half, a little bit disjointed, but there's no question about it. The second half and the two overtimes were incredibly entertaining. It was heartbreaking. At the same time, incredibly fun, incredibly exciting. Your thoughts on the last week for your ball club?
Well, the week, obviously, getting a road win in our league is valuable, but the second part of that equation is you have to protect your home court. Obviously, we played two great teams, Kent State and Akron, and we split them, and we didn't, game that we had won several times. It's disappointing. I mean, it was disappointing in a lot of different ways. We did a lot of really good things, but there was some things that we moving forward, we have to correct and to have a chance to beat really good teams. And the main thing that jumps out is our guys have to fully understand the importance of every possession in a really good game like that. What I mean by the importance of the possession is we made some mental mistakes, especially in the first overtime and at the end of regulation, on both sides of the ball, that made multiple possession games a single possession game, and you can't do that. We did it twice in the last minute of the first overtime.
Team having another team's number and that sort of thing. And obviously it's a reporting-esque question. Akron has won 4 in a row over Ohio. They've been contested games large. Do you believe in that kind of stuff? If one team has another team's number just based on the lineups and the matchups and that sort of situation?
I mean, until we beat them, you have to probably believe it. But I think that, it all depends on the strength of your team. I don't think we walked out of our locker room last night saying that better than us. And I think our kids feel disappointed that we knew we had the game won and we just didn't do the little things to do it. Now there's psychological things involved with that. I never bought into that. It's just it should motivate us. But it would be different if our team walked out of there saying, okay, wow, we had a chance, and looked surprised. We were disappointed that our locker room was crushed. Yeah. That we didn't win that basketball game. So I don't think they would feel that way if they thought we wanted to win the game for this year. We don't really care what happened last year is irrelevant to this team. It really is. I mean, other than the fact that they have a lot of respect in what happened and we did some great things to this basketball team, they have their own things they're trying to do. And they were crushed and disappointed because we took a step backwards from what we're trying to do right now. We can't worry about what happened last season. We can't worry about what happened in those other games. On this particular night, they knew we had the game won and didn't finish it.
The magnification of possessions, and you can obviously look at a couple of possessions from the Kent State game and most certainly look at a couple of possessions from the Akron game to say, you know what, every possession can be magnified through the positive and the negative here. Through two games we saw it, both on the offensive and defensive end. One you won, one you lost.
I mean, that's what's going to happen when you're in conference play. The games are coming down to, 2-minute games, 1-minute game, score tied, situations that we practice daily. We play a ton of 2-minute, 1-minute games because we're trying to reiterate to our players how important that is. But then you throw in the atmosphere. You throw in how they've performed on that particular night. Well, you really can't practice that. Right. You can't practice that because you haven't played 40 minutes to get to that minute. It's a practice segment. Or you've had a practice session, so it's different. The games are different. And that's what people say, well, do they practice that situation? Of course we do. Everybody in the country does. But it's impossible to simulate the game because we haven't played 40-minute game.
Right.
You haven't taken 12, 11 shots and seen how you've done or broken down and done something positive or done something poorly. And that's a hard part. That's why you have to just try to learn from unfortunately, from bad experiences and learn from good experiences. So we always try to go back and say, okay, here, look at what we did here. Or look at your particular possession here. This is what we really want. And hopefully that's how people grow. And I think that's how our teams get better. In all positions, in all players. Because some of the guys who played phenomenal in this game had some critical errors that were hurt the team in particular times. And that's what you have to do. You have to go to each guy and get them through this so they learn for the next time we're in this situation. And hopefully we perform better.
Obviously, you have 7 wins now. It's not where you ultimately want to be. But we talked at the beginning of the year. I mean, it was no secret. It was going to be, on a paper standpoint, just based on what it looked like, it could have been a very tough year, and it would have been understandable. How have you been able, your staff and your players, how have you been able to orchestrate what's been a very, very good start to the year?
We spent a lot of time on the road, played a number of road games, and I think that helped build some character, and it helped us get to know each other with a new staff and essentially all new players. even though some played here before, none of them played for the staff. So it was a good opportunity for us to spend some time together in restaurants and buses and hotels and things of that sort, and get to know each other and really start to buy in and come up with a plan where we together could be successful.
Why has it worked so well in scoring a lot of points? Because that wasn't the first time that you scored a lot of points this year.
No, I mean, our kids are very unselfish. You know, they share the ball incredibly well. We, I thought in the last game, the Miami game in particular, I didn't think we took any bad shots, which I think that helps you score if you can get good shots every possession. Didn't have a lot of turnovers. And we shot the ball a lot. The last 2 games, we've shot the ball 15 times more than our opponent. So if you shoot it enough times, it'll go in.
3-10 this year, 0-2 on the floor. What do you see from the Cardinals?
I mean, again, I'm watching both their MAC games, and they, it's a 1-point game with 3 minutes to go, and they have the ball against Akron at home, and they're up 15 at Kent in the second half. So, I mean, it's going to be another game like that where I think they shoot the ball extremely well. I think they have obviously one of the better interior players in Majak, who's averaging 4.5 offensive rebounds a game, close to that. So they look like a good basketball team. Again, I think they're starting to find out their rotation a lot like Miami of Ohio, who had some tough times in the non-conference. I think they're not the same team they were earlier in the year.